Hello friends, welcome to Motoroids. My name is Kamran, and as we all know, adventure motorcycling and dual sport motorcycling is one of the largest growing motorcycling segment in India. Back in 2011, Hero launched their Hero Impulse 150cc, unfortunately which couldn't do very well in the Indian market, which was a fantastic value for money motorcycle. But there are a couple of reasons which people think that bike failed in the Indian market, because of which Hero had to discontinue that motorcycle. Some say it was underpowered, the others feel Indian market wasn't matured enough for dual sport motorcycling. 2016 Royal Enfield came up with their Himalayan, which was a very bold step and a unique design, and that bike has been leading the torch of dual sport motorcycling in India. The manufacturers have understood the importance of getting into the segment of dual sport and adventure riding, and now we have multiple options with the likes of the KTM Adventure siblings, the BMW with the GS 310, Kawasaki with their Versys 300, and one of the remarkable motorcycle in the Indian industry right now, the Hero Xpulse 200. The Xpulse 200 is a good value for money. It's slightly underpowered compared to all the rivals currently it's facing in the industry. When we talk about the bike setup, there are multiple things to be taken into consideration, starting from the tires to the suspension to the seating to the weight distribution of the bike. And since we are talking about tires today, we'll like to specify that most of these motorcycles are capable enough for light off-roading. Himalayan and the Xpulse on the other hand could do slightly better because of the lightweight and easy grunt, which can take you to places. Also, the tire setup on these two machines compared to KTM, BMW or Kawasaki are slightly more off-road focused. They use the 50-50 on and off-road C8 tires. Both the motorcycle come up with exactly the same tires with different rim size at the rear. Here's the look at the Xpulse 200 front tire for you. When we say it's a 50-50 tire, that means the amount of confidence this bike will give you, or these tires would give you specifically on the road as well as off the road, will be prominently very similar to your experience on either of the terrain. These tires would do well on the ground. These tires would do equally well off the tarmac as well, in the dirt, in the muddy sections, as well as in kind of slushy section. Now if you want to go proper off-roading and proper hardcore motocross or rally running, these tires won't do enough justice for you, for which you might end up needing knobby pattern tires, the tires which are self-cleaning, the tires which have the compound and the carcass built up for the same. Since we are talking about tires, we have a very good friend, Mr. Feroz here with us. We'll be talking about the tires in details with him. Let me introduce to my friend Feroz here. He's been doing motorcycle riding and dirt riding for quite some time. Hello Feroz, welcome to Motoroids.
Thank you.
We'd like to ask you about your experience and how the tires help you set up the entire machine for your on and off road riding, for your Sunday rides which you go onto the mountains and which we generally ride. Also, you've been practicing motocross. We've seen a few footages of yours. Would you like to brief us slightly in details about how the tires would really help you excel as a rider?
Hi Kamran, thank you for having me over. Being a weekend warrior and somebody who rides for passion, I have been riding for years, and I have been somebody who's very keen on understanding what is the right tire to have instead of just taking something and going riding. Because tires are like shoes. You have to have right shoes for the right purpose. You can't wear stilettos and go for jogging or to play any sport. It wouldn't work, right?
Neither can you wear your office shoes to the sports club.
Exactly. So basically, having said that, when you talk about dirt riding, typically I've understood there are three kinds of riders. There are riders who have the experience and over the years have put in time and effort to try and understand what works for them. Then there are riders who get tires and experiment with them and then just wing it. Whatever works for them, they ride and then they say, okay, this works for them. Then there are riders who work on a kind of a placebo effect where they've been using regular tires and suddenly they put knobbies and they say, voila, now this is it. This is going to do it for me. But it's not necessarily like that. Okay. So now coming to tires, you have to understand that it is very important to understand the terrain that you ride on, because you having a tire, you have different. I'm just going to get into too many technicalities, like how I started off. Anybody who starts off, because once you start riding and the passion that you have starts getting you into understanding different aspects of the bike, of the riding technique, which makes you better over a period of time. So having said that, there are different kind of terrains. and there are different tires for different kind of terrains. So you have hard terrain tires, you have soft terrain tires. Hard terrain is basically where the surface is hard and it will end up generally being rocky also. So you need tires which will give you grip. At the same time, they will last out and not start breaking and getting damaged. And then you have the soft terrain tires. The soft terrain tires are tires where the ground is soft and you need a bite. You need your tire to dig in, and when you throttle, you need the tire to dig in, give you that grip and take you forward.
That's right.
So basically, intermediate tires, it's a jack of all trades, master of none, because there you are using these, and especially kind of riding I do. I have terrain where I'll be riding and there'll be all boulders. Then you'll get to small rocks and little mud and hard packed surface. And sometimes you'll have these really loose sand, which in rains becomes chocolatey.
Right, the muddy and slushy.
Yeah. So, I think the right tires to go would be the intermediate tires, because the compound is not too hard to kind of, break when you're riding on the road. It's not too soft so that it doesn't wear out, on hard surfaces. And it gives you a good amount of traction and bite on when it's forward driving or it's on cornering. When it comes to the terrains that we ride on, which would be, as I said, muddy, or sometimes it would just get very rocky. Now, when it gets rocky, you need the rubber to be slightly soft. You need it to flex, and you need it to grab whatever place it can to take you forward instead of just kind of throwing you off.
You've spoken about tire pressure, you've spoken about the tire compounds and the terrain you're going to ride in. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, a very important aspect that I'd like to add is the difference between the hard terrain, soft terrain and intermediate. Besides them being soft and hard, the other important aspect is the size of your knobbies and the gap. When you have, for a softer terrain tire, you will have bigger knobbies and they will be spaced apart, because that helps with the self-cleaning, so that in the loose mud, your mud doesn't get packed in.
And that will be a harder compound tire for the softer terrain.
Yes,
right?
there will be a harder compound with the softer terrain, and you will have intermediate and hard terrain tires where the knobbies might not be that big, but the spacing will be a little less, so that it gives you enough traction on the ground. There's more surface and contact on the ground. Yeah.
Thank you, Feroz, for all your inputs.
Anytime.
We really appreciate your time.
Anytime.
You're most welcome.
There's
to
always help to share the knowledge that I've gained over the years with people who are starting off and who it would help and fast track their learning process.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, talking about intermediate tires, and initially we also spoke about the Hero Rally Kit, whose detailed review we'll be doing very shortly. We have the Maxxis MaxCross SI tires. These are the tires which come in the Rally Kit for the Xpulse 200 motorcycle, offered by Hero. We've been informed that these tires cost around 10,000 rupees inclusive of all the GST. And these tires are exactly the ones we were talking about initially. They're intermediate tires, they are good knobbies, they would still do pretty good on the road because of them being intermediate, as well as they'll perform well on the hard and the soft surface. We feel that these are one of the go-to choices for you. For once, these tires are available in the 21 front, which are a direct fit to both Himalayan as well as the Hero Xpulse. The rear is an 18, which is again a direct fit to the Xpulse 200. Let's have a look at these tires and understand their features and characteristics. These tires were developed at the GNCC and Vox Pro's Enduro Championship, and these are the go-to tires for Maxxis when it comes to these races. Now, if you've noticed this, both these races happen in an area which covers both hard packed as well as soft packed terrain. Now, since the tire has to go through a lot on the same day in multiple different sections, tire has to be able to perform both on the hard surface as well as soft surface. Should be able to take the wet surface as well as the slushy areas. This is a go-to tire by Maxxis. We've been informed that these tires are one of the finest tires that Maxxis provides. The reason being is the design of these tires. For once, it was developed considering these kind of races which have multiple terrain options into the same loop they are going to do in the entire day. More than that, the compound Maxxis boast about is the quality of the compound they used here is one of their top-notch products across the globe. And if you notice closely, compared to a regular motocross tires, these tires have multiple different sections of the knobbies here. So if you notice here, between these 5 lugs, there are 4 different patterns here. The straight pattern which works as a paddle in the soft terrain surface. The surface on the corners here is knobs with the side bridges, which helps you in straight line stability and provides you forward drive when it comes on the loose surface. The quality of the compound used here in the center and in the side, something that can take you on all the terrains without you losing your confidence at all. Now if you notice the carcass here, it's quite a hard carcass here. The reason for it being hard carcass is it being an intermediate tire. You might be using it on a much lower air pressure, as we discussed before, that the lower air pressure will help you get better traction in a hard packed surface. And so this might avoid you pinch flats, that is why the hard carcass. Saying that, the lugs are very tall, will help you in the soft surface as well, and the compound is specifically designed in such a way that it can help you in both soft and hard terrain. So as we understand by the compound and the knobbies and the lugs design here, these tires can be used by someone who is going pro on motocross tracks, as well as by someone who is going to be a weekend rider into the dirt. If you're going enduro riding, if you stay close to a place like Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, Delhi, where you have access to mountains or Jaipur in that case, where you have access to mountains, sand dunes or a rally cross track somewhere around you, which you are able to go within, drive a 50-100 kilometers. These tires will be able to take you to the track and bring you back on the tarmac while giving you enough confidence on the surface where you are riding. Be it a motocross track, be it your off-road Sunday ride into the mountains, we feel that you might have fantastic confidence if you're choosing these tires. We'll be fitting these tires onto our motorcycles you see behind us. We'll be doing a very detailed review about their performance on the sand as well as the hard-packed rocky terrain. The videos will be coming up shortly. Till then, what we see and what we feel, we've made a right choice by going with the MaxxCross SI rally tires. We'll be keeping you informed and posted about our future videos. For more videos and reviews like this, please do subscribe to Motoroids channel if you like our long format videos which are quite detailed, and we'll be coming up with many such videos like these. Do press the bell icon and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. If you like the long format videos, while you search for anything, just mention Motoroids in your web search and you'll be directly led to our videos. Thank you so much for watching us. We hope to come back with a video of detailed review of these tires and many such reviews for you. Till then, take care, be safe. Bye-bye.